Your Thanksgiving Monday forecast begins now. We're going across the country. I'm Matt Hamel, happy to be here with you. And let's first take a look at this big system that's been quite the weather maker, bringing a little taste of winter for many across the prairies this weekend. We'll be talking about that, kind of moving out of Manitoba today, in addition to some interesting temperature storylines. Look at our daytime high in Calgary for our Thanksgiving Monday. 0 degrees. Meanwhile, in parts of southern Ontario, we have highs of 20 degrees. For Toronto, 17. The same goes for the nation's capital, so certainly trending warmer than usual. And here's how that kind of temperature divide looks on our national map. But as we get deeper into the week, you can see those blues, those colder temperatures will be kind of migrating a little further east, and maybe will rebound to some better warmth in the west. Okay, let's take a look at the northern part of the country as we see for our Monday afternoon, some above freezing daytime highs, which is good to see relative to some of that cooler air in the prairies. Now, that system in Manitoba doesn't look to be having much of an impact as it tracks out of Manitoba, but another system we can see late Tuesday into Wednesday might be bringing some snow across parts of Yukon and the Northwest Territories. But let's take a look at this big system here around that low pressure, and my goodness, so for our Monday, especially earlier on, that snowfall still very much a factor in parts of Manitoba. Now that will gradually move out this evening, and then as you can see, a much quieter pattern here, which is good after what was a pretty eventful weekend, because it wasn't just the rain and the snow, the winds, which will remain very gusty for much of Manitoba and northern Ontario for our Thanksgiving Monday, will start to diminish late this evening, and we'll get a bit of a break, it looks like, into our Tuesday. But temperatures across the prairies, yes, this has been quite a chilly stretch here. The good news is for Calgary, where today's high is 0, already by tomorrow we're rebounding to sunny skies and a high of 7 and a couple double-digit daytime highs before things might be cooling down late week into next weekend. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. Winnipeg, a similar pattern where we kind of have that emergence into better double-digit temperatures and then maybe getting back down below the 10-degree mark by next weekend. For British Columbia, sunny skies. We're pretty close to seasonal. You see that high of 13 degrees for Vancouver. Not much in the way of rainfall. You see the sunny conditions likely going to remain a big factor all the way through the first couple days of the work week. For Vancouver, things may be starting to get a little interesting late week with some showers by Thursday and then perhaps heavier rainfall moving in next weekend. We'll have to keep an eye on that as it gets closer to see if that might end up coming to fruition. Now in the east, we have this area of high pressure, which is giving us a little bit of a benefit in terms of steering this system away. Now we will see some of that rainfall on our Thanksgiving Monday in more northern parts of Ontario and Quebec and around Hudson's Bay, but ultimately things are looking fairly quiet here. No big snowstorms moving through, but ultimately this afternoon we have those temperatures that are, well, pretty nice. 21, as I mentioned, for Windsor and above seasonal, even into parts of the Maritimes, we have some decent temperatures there. Now for Ontario, as I mentioned, northern areas looking windy. It does look like our Tuesday could be a little breezy as well, but the temperatures are looking pretty good there. However, the temperature pattern might starting to bring us closer to where we should be for this time of year, so maybe seeing those temperatures take a little bit of a dip. We'll show you just by how much in a moment, but along with this pattern we have over the next few days, things are looking pretty dry. We can see right through the work week, southern areas basically no rain in the forecast, while more central and northern parts of Ontario might be getting a little bit. Now, for that 7-day forecast, you can see that kind of return to normal. After a gorgeous Tuesday temperature of 21 for Toronto, we'll see many in southern Ontario dipping closer to seasonal for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. In Quebec this afternoon, we have temperatures here also looking pretty good for many. However, following Toronto's temperature pattern, yes, mid to late week, back to reality with a couple 12-degree highs in the mix there. For Atlantic Canada, we do have some sunny conditions for many today. Temperatures are not too bad either. Now this area of high pressure helping to bring us these nice, warm, sunny skies. Now a little bit breezy as well, but as we can see, things will be getting a little cooler as the week goes on.